What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Kicks of the Trade, where we are bridging the gap between your casual sneaker fans and avid sneaker enthusiasts. I'm one of your hosts, Kels, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's good? How's it going?
How you doing? I am great. Thanks for asking. How are you doing today?
Sensational. You know I can't complain.
Sensational. Sensational. Happy belated Father's Day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So, man, let's get into it today. I
Yeah.
don't know. Do we have any? We have some housekeeping items I think we need to cover and mention. Today's episode is going to be all about sneaker collabs, specifically with artists.
Yeah.
So that's been a
Musicians,
big
rappers,
wave, and
singers.
rappers, singers. Yep. We're going to go over kind of what our favorite collabs are, how it's really impacted sneaker culture, and just kind of what we like, and what are some noteworthy shoes to talk about.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about this episode because I think some of their favorite artists they don't realize may or may not have a sneaker. So I think they're surprised and excited about this, and I'm excited about this episode.
Yeah. Before we get into it, though, I have to say congratulations to you and I, because we just signed on with a media company.
Yeah, shout out to Nightport Media. Yeah, I'm excited.
Shout out Nightport Media. We're now a Nightport media show, and they're going to start producing, and it's going to be great.
Yeah,
lots of exciting stuff to come.
We're part of the Nightport family, so go follow them on social media, Nightport Media. Yeah.
Yep. And while you do that, make sure you're following kicksofthetrade.podcast on Instagram and that you're subscribing to our channels and leaving us some reviews and telling us what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So that's the housekeeping for today, but let's get into the episode. Chris, my question for you is, I guess let's kind of start to get into some of the history of when artists really started partnering with sneaker brands and how this has really like shaped sneaker culture.
I think it's all started. I mean, we have to take a step back and really look at first the beginning of hip hop and hip hop music and just things in general. I think this all started with Run DMC. Run DMCs are like the godfathers of like the sneaker hip hop, the sneaker music culture mixture, with them being just so ingratiated in Adidas, not even having a deal originally, but just Adidas seeing how much and how influential they were in the culture, and they were the biggest rap artists at the time. So it'd just be nonsensical not to give them a deal. So we have this whole thing starts and is a factor because of Run DMC. So shout out to Run DMC. They're the reason, they're the pioneers in this.
Yeah, I have to second that and agree with you, because I think, when sneakers were really just, coming on the scene, it was so much about the athlete promoting the sneaker as, functional footwear, but they really became this like fashion statement when Run DMC started, getting in the loop. Like Beastie Boys were even, big in promoting sneakers. But there was this whole movement into, not getting away from the athlete, but like focusing on the musical aspect and how influential that is to, just a community as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely spot on with that. And then as it trickles, I don't know if is trickleate a word?
Trickleate. I don't think so.
It's a word today, though.
I mean, I understand what it means as you're using it, so we might as well say that it's a word. I don't know if it's technically in the dictionary,
but trickleate's is a word. I like to use it.
It sounded
good, though.
Into modern day.
But then how it gravitated towards just today and how influential it is in today's culture. And I think you're remiss if you don't understand and know the impact of Run DMC, I think you have to take a step back and just appreciate who they are and what they've done. And then I think it goes into even the early 90s with guys like LL Cool J and just all those pioneers like rap music and then just how Michael Jordan became big, some other rappers became big, and they just started to cross over into each other's genres. Like you can't talk about the early 90s and not talk about rappers either wearing Jordans or rapping about wearing Jordans. The Nike Cortez. If you're on the West Coast, you were rocking Chuck Taylors and Cortezes as a rapper. And if you don't know the Nike Cortez, it's like the staple in LA. Like that's
OG Nike.
that's an OG Nike shoe in LA, the Cortez. So like I remember I see it now vividly in my head. A guy from the West Coast, Ice-T, was wearing like Jordans. You know, Ice Cube wearing Cortezes and Chuck Taylors. You know, Chuck Taylor, another sneaker company that doesn't really get enough credit in terms of like just how much of a huge impact they are even today in music. And then especially back then, you couldn't walk around in LA without seeing a rapper or whoever it may be in a pair of Chuck Taylors with a button up, you know, and some khakis.
Yeah, totally. No, incredibly influential. What was LL Cool J's shoe? Did he have like a specific? I guess let's get into the.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to do like the differences between a collab and signature shoe.
Yeah.
Versus, I guess those are the two big ones.
So there's three, but like I don't. The athletes are the third portion of that, and we're not dealing with athletes today. So a collab. So let's break it down just a little bit. So people are like, hey, what's a collab? What's a collab? We keep saying that. So collaboration is a shoe that an artist and a company. So let's say Nike and let's say Jay-Z. Let's use those two for example. Nike already has a shoe established, a silhouette already made, and then Jay-Z comes through and just puts his touches on it, whether that be colors, materials, look, feel, just every aspect is like a Jay-Z aspect of it. That is a collaboration. There's already a shoe established. Jay-Z just comes and puts his little flavor on it. Now,
colors.
Correct. Materials, you know, it varies.
Flair.
Yep. Now, a signature shoe is something like what Kanye has. So Kanye has a signature shoe where Kanye designed the whole entire silhouette from the look of the shoe, the feel, the design, the shape, the materials, everything from top to bottom. Kanye designed. So Kanye actually has his own signature shoe. So like when we talk about Yeezys, that's a Kanye signature shoe. When we talk about his Yeezys from Nike, those are signature shoes. But like when we talk about his Vapester, which is a shoe that was already established, and he just came through the college dropout ones.
Chris, where'd you go? I think we lost you.
You lost me? Oh no. Hello? Can you hear me? So for example, Kanye's Babester is a bathing ape that's already made, but they did the college dropout edition. So that would be considered a collaboration as opposed to Kanye's signature line, which is the Yeezy line with Adidas and also the Yeezy line with Nike.
Yeah. Excuse me. I really liked the Babester with the college dropout bear.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then
does he have multiple ones with Bape?
Yeah, so he has a few with Bape. I think he like influenced some of the colorways. I don't know if they necessarily give him a collaboration, but that one for sure. And then Kanye is one of the few people who actually has collaborations and signature shoes with pretty much every sneaker line. So I know that he has a college dropout with Reebok, college dropout with Bape. He has his own signature line with Adidas. He had his own signature line with Nike. And then he also has Louis Vuitton. So that's 5 major sneaker brands that Kanye has. Yeah. So there's nobody who's ever done what Kanye has done. So he has to be, we were talking about this off air. He has to be the number one guy right now in terms of like sneakers. I think
artist collabs, or I guess
sure for artist collabs
plus signature lines.
Signature lines, he's number one right now. I think outside of Michael Jordan, I think it's Kanye. But non-athlete is Kanye by a mile. But but even Jordan is like, he's not like, he says a line where Yeezy jumped over the jump man. No, that's not it at all. That's not the case. He'll never jump over the jump man.
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever can at this point. He's just so far ahead of everyone, obviously, and I think it's always going to stay that way. But I'd have to agree with you. I think when it comes to artist collaborations and artists crossing over into the sneaker game, Kanye's got to take first place on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
And even, I was doing some research on it. I didn't know that Kanye even they turned the 350s into a cleat. So he's even crossed over into the
Yeah,
sports world.
yeah. The
And I know
three
DeAndre Hopkins was wearing his original, the
Andre,
the turtle dove,
yeah, the
and
Adrian
got
Peterson.
fined.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson was wearing the turtle doves too in the game because he's with Adidas. And then also he made a basketball shoe. Now it didn't translate as
I've
well.
seen
I
that
don't think
one.
the shoe for basketball. I think that's the Quantums. But he made it a
Oh,
basketball shoe, a Yeezy basketball
okay.
shoe.
Those
So
look
you'll
like
see a
basketball
few guys
shoes.
wearing them, but they actually got banned. Like the first edition of them got banned. And I think you're going to see that's going to be a shoe that later down the line will have some hype and some buzz because of what it was. I don't think it'll have a buzz like a banned Jordan 1, but it'll have a buzz because it was banned because it had like a lot of reflective properties in it. So when they were taking pictures, it like did something either to other players or like it was affecting something where like the league was like, you can't wear this shoe. And the only person who's worn it was Brandon Ingram in the NBA All-Star game.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but I could see that because sports teams don't really like these like multiple color things. They like
Mm.
everything kind of like the same colorway.
Well, the NBA is the only
No, the NBA
league.
is a little bit more loose with that.
Well, the NBA is the only league that allows you to wear whatever colorway that's not. It used to
Yeah.
not be like that. They just recently, I would say, within the last 5 years, got a little bit lax on that. But you couldn't wear shoes that didn't align with your team's colorway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the only sport that allows it. I mean, outside of like, I don't even know if soccer even allows it. I don't know that much about soccer, pro soccer, but
Yeah.
I think
Sure.
basketball is the only one.
Yeah. So we have obviously got Kanye. I mean,
Mhm.
huge. Like you can't deny what he's done for sneaker culture.
Titan.
Next one on my list I'd have to want to talk about is Travis Scott. I mean, I think he's in my opinion kind of like in second place right now in terms of artist collaborations.
I mean, I
He's
can't
got his
argue.
collab with Nike.
I can't argue with that. I mean, Travis Scott is what he's probably made about 10 collabs, coming out with two more, the Jordan 1 high and the Jordan 1 low. And I mean, they're highly sought after. He knocks it out the park every time. I think the only shoe he did was like one of his Air Maxes weren't too popular, but it sold out. I mean, anything he touches right now is pretty much gold. I mean, even if he doesn't wear the shoe, like if it's not a Travis Scott collab, if he wears the shoe, it does well.
Yeah.
Like I remember like all these dunks that he wears, like soon as he wears and he's photographed in it, like you go on StockX, you'll see the dunk jump up like 200-300% in terms of resale pricing.
Yeah. Whatever he touches is pretty much gold.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Travis Scott collab that he's done colorway wise?
Ooh, that's a good question. My favorite, honestly, I have to say the Travis Scott 4s are my favorite. I'm gonna be biased and say I like the blue ones because I have them, but I
Okay.
actually like the purple ones the most. But they're just friends and family. I'll never get my hands on a pair of them.
Yeah.
But like if I could get my hands on a pair of those purple Travis Scott 4s, I would just lose my mind.
Yeah, it's too bad you're not like Stormy or something.
No.
she gets the best shoes. Let's be real here. Stormy gets all the good.
Yeah,
good
like she has
colorways.
everything. But those, I would say I mean, all the Travis Scott 4s are like fire. I have the blue ones, which I love. That's actually how I started House of Trade, off of those shoes.
That was
And
the first shoe that you traded on House of Trade.
that was the reason why I started House of Trade, because I was
Because
trying.
you wanted those.
Yeah, I had them.
Okay.
I had them in a 14. I wanted a size 15, so I looked online and said, "Hey, I want to trade them," but there was no platforms that actually did trading. So I was like, "Why don't I just start the platform that actually does the trading?"
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's awesome.
that what inspired House of Trade is the Travis Scott 4.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What about you? What's one
Let's see.
you like?
My favorite Cactus. Well, I guess Cactus Jack is something separate, but Travis Scott,
No.
Cactus
It's the
Jack,
same.
the Flame, whatever.
It's the same. Travis Scott, Cactus Jack, LaFlame, all the same.
Yeah,
It's like
all the same.
Kanye, Yeezy, Mr.
I mean,
West.
I feel like I gotta go with the. I think the concept of the backwards swoosh was so crazy to me. You know, when they designed that, you're almost like, did someone mess something up? Like, oh, it's backwards.
Yeah, but it fits.
It fits, and he wanted something that was really gonna like take that shoe, like, you know, astronomical to the moon, like make a statement with it. And
No
you know,
pun
Off
intended
White's
with
got like,
Astro World.
What?
No pun intended with Astro.
No pun intended. Yeah, that was pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, by switching the swoosh to be backwards, you know, was his like signature mark on the shoe, kind of like an Off-White has like their orange tags and like labels. So I would have to go with the backwards one, the mocha colorway. I really like the one lows that are coming out with the blue and the tan.
I like the lows a lot.
Swoosh.
Those are so fire.
Swoosh. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going after those hard. I'm not even gonna lie.
I know. When did those come out? They come out. Are they supposed to come out like I don't know if it has a release date yet.
Yeah, it comes out the end of next month, and then the end of July, and then the other one is the beginning of August. They're 2 weeks from each other. I'm going after both. I want the lows more. If I had to choose one, I'm choosing the lows.
Yeah, I really like the lows.
Yeah.
But my next favorite Travis Scott shoe, I really like his Dunks. Ooh, and I remember when those were released because they were you know, planted in his Jack Boys music video, and like it just created like this like enormous buzz around that shoe when because he was barely like shown wearing them, you know, and there were little flashes of it, and just internet like blew up like, oh my god,
oh yeah,
Travis Scott Dunks, or you know, and I remember that pretty vividly.
I hate those Dunks.
You really?
I do not like them. Well, I'm just not like, look, everybody likes them, and I give everybody credit for liking them. I'm not gonna knock nobody for liking that shoe. I'm just personally not a big bandana print type person. I just don't like bandana print.
Paisley.
Nah, I'm not a fan of it. It's just I don't think it looks good on me. So I mean, fair. The shoe is not a good looking shoe to me. I think personally it's overhyped. I think if it didn't say Travis Scott, I don't think people would be jumping on him. But I do understand if you like that print, accurate. Like if you like that print, I get why you like this shoe. I personally don't like the paisley print, and I don't like I don't like thick laces like that either. Because for me, it makes my feet look huge, and it just doesn't sit the way I like it to sit when I wear a shoe. So I personally, that's actually maybe my least favorite Travis Scott. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that, but it isn't my least favorite Travis Scott.
Like a classic Travis Scott.
Everybody's going. I know people are gonna come after my head for that. So
you're entitled to your opinion, and you like what you like, and you don't what you don't. You know, don't like what you don't like.
Right.
All right. Let's talk about another one.
Yeah. So I would say let's go to like artists who have like really captivated like their own like signature. They might not have a signature shoe, but they have their own signature line. And I really wanted to talk about two people in particular, is Beyonce with Ivy Park and her shoes. And then also I want to talk about Drake, because Drake kind of did something a little bit different that we may have not seen. Is Drake kind of did two things. He did the certified lover boy type stuff. And then he did I forgot what his line was called with Nike. It's like Nocta or something like that. I'm not sure what it was called. I'll look at
OVOs?
No, it's outside the OVO. It's outside the OVO. But he did his own like clothing line with Nike too that coincides with his sneaker releases. But let's talk about Beyonce first.
Yeah, Nocta.
Nocta, right.
Okay, let's get into that after Beyonce.
Yeah, let's talk about Beyonce. So what do you think about Ivy Park? Do you like her shoes? Because I'm just strictly we're strictly kicks. So do you like the shoes for them? Do you think it's a good women's shoe, or do you think it's a good unisex shoe? Like, what is your opinion on that? Because I have mine on it.
Yeah. Ivy Park, it kind of took me, I guess I know we're going to talk strictly shoes, but it took me a while to warm up to that brand. I wasn't super in love with some of the clothing at first when it launched, but I really, really do like her Ivy Park shoes. I like some of the colorways. I feel like they're a little bit more on the feminine side of colorways. I know she's got a lot of kind of like whites and golds. I really like the boots. I know that's not a sneaker, but I think she's got some good, right? Like those are, I think, very stylish. Like I want to get a pair for, you know, when fall time comes around, because I think that would be a good kick to rock then. I personally don't have any Ivy Park shoes yet. But you know, I think that would definitely be something that I would want to add to my collection. I think she's done a pretty good job with it.
I think they're really hard to, like I said, for a guy to wear personally.
Yeah.
But I do think some of them are fire. Like they have ones with like, it has like a lace in the back. I like those a lot. Once I find them, I'll post them on our page, the image of those shoes. But I think for the most part, they're a good shoe. I agree with you with what she said. I think they're more catered towards the feminine market. But she does well. I mean, Beyonce is one of those people like Drake, Kanye, Travis Scott. She literally can make a dog crap shoe and is going to sell because the Beehive loves her. The Beehive loves her.
Yeah.
They love everything she does. I think she's very, very inclusive in her approach. She caters to the transgender community. She caters toward the LGBTQ plus community. So I think out of all the sneaker collaborations I've ever seen, she's by far the most all-inclusive, in my opinion. So I give her a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
But I think her clothes are better than her shoes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the clothes. I don't know if they just like fit weird.
Well, I think they fit larger.
Background noise coming in
I think her clothes don't have a size specificity. So in terms of like, it's not a women's sizing and it's not a men's sizing. So you kind of have to play a guessing game until you get your first set of clothes, because it sells out so fast and you can't really try it on. So you don't have the opportunity. So if you like normally as a woman wear like a medium, you probably have to go small, but then the small might be too small, or it's her sizing is very different. It's very all inclusive. So like a man, so it's just harder to gauge what you really wear in her stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But so no, I think she's got kind of like more of like the platform look on a lot of her shoes, like the superstars. I think these the unisex Adidas original 84 high casual, I don't know. These are dope though, with the, if you guys want to look at them.
Yeah. Those are fire.
I feel like those would be good for a guy. Like I think.
That's a guy. Yeah, that's one of those ones that like translates to both men and women.
Yeah. So we give, what kind of rating do we give Beyonce then?
I'm harsh with my ratings. In terms of sneakers, a 6.
Yeah.
6.
Okay, so out of 10?
6.
Okay.
What would you give her?
Well, let's see. I'd have to give her a 6 too. I need to jump on. I need to join the Beehive apparently, because I don't have any of them yet.
They're gonna come after you if you don't.
So. I know, but I'm gonna get a pair and see what I think once I get them on the feet.
Well, the thing is, she just doesn't come out with enough sneakers. I think you have to come out with a lot consistently for me to like even still like you even hit my radar for a higher number.
Yeah.
So then let's move on to Drake, because I'm very critical of Drake in terms of I think his fan base makes him out to be better than what his stuff is. I think Drake has some of the worst collabs ever. Personally, out of all the musicians, to me, I think his are the worst. Tell them
how you really feel, Chris.
I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't think his collabs are good. Like, his OVO Jordans suck to me. I think his Nike Air Max, he has an all-white Nike Air Max. It looks like a dad shoe to me. I'm trying to think. I think he does have One Fire. He has One Fire collaboration, and it's not even available for everybody. He has the Six God Jordan 3s. I think those are fire. But besides that, look, Drake is one of those people, like, I love Drake as in, like, musically, but I don't like that I like him, if that makes sense. Like, I don't like to tell people that I actually
because he was on
Degrassi.
On Degrassi.
Nah,
are you still holding Degrassi against Drake?
I actually never seen him on Degrassi. Like, I've seen like clips on it, like here and there, but I've actually never seen that show. But it's just like Drake is such a.
I guess have to watch.
I guess Drake is such a simp that I hate that I like him, but he makes. Well, I think he's like a suck up for the ladies. That's what I'll say. I think he's a suck up for the ladies. And then he comes off of this bad boy image and he's not really that. So that's my issue. But Drake makes fire music. He does. I mean, I'm going to admit it. Drake makes fire music. And I think if I hung out with Drake, I would really like his company. And I think we would be friends. But I just think his shoes are not good. Like, and if he was in my face, I'd tell him that. Would he respect me for it? Maybe, maybe not. Would he not like me because of it? Maybe, maybe not. But at least he knows I'm honest. But I think if we hung out, I think we'd be best
Oh
friends.
man. I want to find that lyric in Best I Ever Had where he's talking about like how does it go? Like you're buying the CD for the ladies
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever, but
yeah,
your
yeah.
brother's
That's
in
exactly
line or
yes,
something.
yes.
What
But
does that
my
go?
girlfriend is buying it for the picture or something for the pictures. Um, ah, he's saying he got it for his sister or something like
Yeah,
that.
saying they
Yeah,
got it for
yeah.
his
I know what you,
sister.
yeah. But yeah, that's how I feel. Like I don't like to admit that I like his music, but I do. I like. Look, I ain't gonna lie. Every time I'm like Drake, he comes out with another banger. Like I don't like
Yeah.
when he sings. I don't think he's a good singer, but he makes fire music. Like he just does it. He hits it every time.
Here's another one. Checks over stripes. That's
That's
what
a
I like.
that's a fire bar. That's a fire bar. But I just
And
don't think
I'd have to agree with that statement there.
it is.
I love Drake personally. I'm a Drake fan. And you know, I agree with him. Checks over stripes. That's what I like.
It is. I do
Unless it's
too.
easy.
I do too. So let me ask you this: how do you feel about his sneakers, though? Like,
Yeah,
because he has an OVO 10s, I think are trash.
I think that yeah, the OVO 10s are not. I don't like. They're like the white. They're not really anything like
Right, they're
special
so
to
basic.
me. I think the 12s though are nice. I like the OVO 12s, but I guess that's more of the colorway that I like in terms of like it's. Just, I mean, it's kind of a neutral.
I just don't think
But
he
it's not
pushes
anything
the
crazy or
envelope.
special. I mean, it just looks like a white 12 with like gold, accents.
Right, like even the
Um,
black OVO 10s, basic.
yeah.
The OVO 8s, basic.
I mean, even the Six God threes, like I don't even like I personally would not probably wear those anyways. Like those are a little bit like just too flashy for my preference. So, I'd have to say that yeah, I think Drake probably gets like a 3 in terms of
I just don't think he makes it good.
collabs
Like he has a collab with Clark's for the Wallabies, Timberlands. Like they're all just black shoes, and I'm just like, dude, try.
with like the owl.
Yeah, like dude, just try. But he knows he doesn't really have to because it's going to sell. Like he just has to put his name on it. But I think Travis Scott actually put forth effort. Kanye puts forth effort. I just don't think he tries, and I think that's what bothers me the most with his sneakers. I'm like, dude, you could do so much better than this. Like just make for that. But I also just think the reason why he gets a pass from me and I don't really expect that much from him because I don't look at Drake as a super fashionable person. He's not fashionable to me. Like, does he wear like pieces here and there? Yeah, but
You don't think that Montclair red puffer was fashionable?
I just don't think no. Like I don't
People
like
that shit was like flying off the shelves when he wrote that. But
it's because it's Drake.
That's the influence of Drake.
Right. This is Drake. And I get it. Like if you're a company and you put Drake on your name, it's gonna sell out. But like, would you say Drake is more fashionable than ASAP Rocky? No. I would say no. He's not more fashionable than Kanye. He's not more fashionable than Pharrell. Pharrell, that's the guy we need to talk about.
Let's talk about Pharrell.
What
was Drake even wearing when he was wearing that red coat?
Probably a white t-shirt and some jeans and Timbs. Like he just doesn't try.
Oh, he was wearing he was wearing some Timbs in that scene.
But Drake makes hits. He makes great music.
Maybe he needs to just stick in that.
But he appeals to everybody. Drake is that guy who like everybody likes, but he's not so controversial where you're like, I don't want to mess with that guy. He knows his lane. He knows his strengths. So I mean,
he was involved in is the Jesus shoe a Drake collab? Could we consider that a collab? The Holy Waters?
I don't know. What did it have to do with Drake?
Wasn't Drake wearing those? I think maybe he was just wearing those.
Nah,
I don't know if he had anything necessarily to do with the collaboration of it.
No, he don't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Who do we? Yeah. Who's the next on our list?
I would say Pharrell. Pharrell is. Yes. Look, I'm biased. Look, Pharrell is my guy. Pharrell's a 757 representer. So if you don't know about 757, that's Virginia, Tidewater area. Pharrell's Pharrell's one of the GOATs. He's one of the GOATs. Like Pharrell's fashion is on point. His kick game is always stupendous. I don't know.
What's your favorite Pharrell collab?
Those Chanel NMDs are crazy.
The Human Race.
Oh my God. I might have to Google those because like y'all need to see these. The Chanel NMDs. Have you seen them?
I've seen them, and because we talked about this on one of our other
Hmm.
episodes, or we talked about this on our Adidas episode.
Yes, that is.
Um, and I actually
Uh,
saw those in person not too long ago.
were
I
they real though?
probably wouldn't have really. Were they real? That I didn't. I should have gotten a Kicks in the Wild picture with them, but
That's a $10,000 shoe. Like I think they retail like 2 G's. They retail 1,100. But that
well,
shoe
that
is.
person must have been rich then.
I mean, I'm not knocking them.
I kind of like the orange ones. I've known you use those on House of Trade and
Yeah, that's on our advertising.
uh-huh.
I like Pharrell stuff.
Yeah.
I like his Bape, but Pharrell's like one of the like designers in Bape originally, and then he had the ice cream sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, Pharrell's like I think Pharrell needs to get a lot more credit than he does. Like Pharrell doesn't get enough credit for being one of the pioneers in terms of like real like that streetwear conversion with the Asian fashion type deal. Cause
Yeah.
like Pharrell was like big when like everybody was wearing like Bape, um, Billionaires Boys Club. That's his line, Billionaire Boys Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's his
I'm
line.
not very familiar with that.
So like he was huge with like all that like Asian street urban culture conversion crossover and bringing it and making it super mainstream here. And even with the like the colorful chains with like the rubies and the sapphires. Like Pharrell doesn't age. He even had a grill with like sapphires in it. I think fashion wise, I think he's above Kanye. And I think his shoe game
Hmm.
is probably one of the best I've ever seen. I'm also biased, but I don't think anybody would disagree with what I'm saying.
I can't disagree with the good work that he does. I don't know if I put it as my top in terms of favorites. But I mean there's no denying that he's done a really good job, especially with the footwear.
Yeah. So what would you say, what would you rank Pharrell in like the pantheon? I think he's up there with the Travis Scott. I think he's above Travis Scott personally, but if you say Travis Scott now is above him, I wouldn't like be like you're way wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still have to rank Travis Scott on top of him. I just think his collabs probably go a little bit more, they have more buzz. Like Travis Scott has just like this crazy following.
Yeah.
And I feel like Pharrell, there's just not as much hype
No,
there.
that's fair. I think
And maybe not, and I'm sure it doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve that additional hype, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because, Nike, that just might be a bigger in the sneaker realm than the
right.
Adidas.
I think it's
And
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's partly because, well, you got to think Pharrell doesn't make as much music as Travis Scott. Travis Scott
yeah,
is like the voice of the young people right now.
very prevalent right
Yeah,
now.
he's the voice of the young people right now, coming out with albums. His music is like more catered towards that. And then also, I always think the Nike influence is always huge.
Mhm.
Nike always pushes the envelopes in terms of colors and styles, designs, and gives their designers a lot of freedom. So I think the statement will change if Pharrell were to go over to Nike, but I don't think we'll ever see that now at his age. I think he's
Yeah,
pretty much set in his ways with Adidas.
yeah.
And, I think, another guy who's even in that same Virginia realm, I'll just bring him into the picture, is Pusha T. Pusha T also has an Adidas, the Bodega. His shoe is fire. He has a Bodega one, of fish scales. But his Adidas, I think, are really done very well. But he just doesn't have that notoriety, I would say, is like a Travis Scott or those other guys that we mentioned.
Yeah, they're not
But
like super recognizable, I guess, in my
right.
opinion.
But
Or
they still have a
since I'm
good.
more of not as seasoned in the sneaker world as you are, I they wouldn't be necessarily recognizable to me.
Yeah, I think who are some of the people who don't have signature shoes that you would like to see with one? Because I know I have a few in mind.
God, let's see. I'm curious what a Cardi B collaboration would potentially
Ooh,
look like.
yeah, I was in that
I
wheelhouse
think
for
she'd be
that.
someone that I could see doing a shoe collab. Migos, even. I know we talked
Hmm.
about Migos.
Yeah.
That would be, I think, probably a good collab.
Yeah, I would be curious to see what an
Um,
offset collab looks
who
like.
else?
An offset like Migos collab. because he's a huge Jordan guy. I
Yeah.
think I would like to see what his would look like. I think
Yep.
another guy who I would like to see, just because he's kind of crazy and his style is very different, Lil Uzi Vert. I would like to see what a Lil Uzi Vert would collab. I
Ooh.
don't really like listen to a ton of his music. I mean, I do like some of it, but I would be curious to see what his collaboration look like because his style and the things that he's like is really out there. So I'd be curious to see what a Lil Uzi Vert collab will look like.
That would be interesting.
A Future, because he's a huge sneaker guy. I would like to see what his collab with him will look like with Jordan, maybe. And also RIP. I want to see what a Pop Smoke, maybe an Adidas Pop Smoke will look like, or a Pop Smoke Jordan will look like. So those are my three.
Okay, those would be some good ones. Those would be some good ones. Got to put it out into the atmosphere. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never.
One we didn't talk about. Yeah, one we didn't talk about too that we have to talk about is Justin Timberlake.
Oh,
because I think his threes are like those were some of the hottest artist collab ever.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake. The Tinker Hatfield ones, the ones that came out at the halftime of the Super Bowl. That release was even crazy. Because now I can't watch a Super Bowl without thinking at halftime they're gonna come out with a Jordan release. Like I always get on sneakers and think there's gonna be a Jordan release, and now it doesn't happen anymore. And then also his Man in the Woods. I actually have those. Shout out to Al Cheney for selling me those.
Those are the red ones?
Those are the orange ones. The orange, like they look like the hunting, they're like hunting colors, kind of. Those are probably one of my favorite. They're probably some of my favorite sneakers I actually own. I actually like those personally more than maybe 95% of my closet, which is very saying a lot.
Yeah.
But Justin Timberlake has some stuff. Justin Timberlake has like, even when he wears or walking around, he's always wearing like something like crazy. So like his Jordan sponsorship does very well for him. I think some other ones I want to mention is, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say too, another one that I wanted to mention, because she's a really big sneakerhead, Billie Eilish. Yes. And she is coming out with a new shoe. Is it already out? I don't think it's out yet. But the green, so it's like the green neon green out with Jordan.
A Jordan 1, an AJKO. So AJKO is a Jordan 1.
The AJKO.
But it's all canvas. And then she's also coming out with a Jordan 15, which is like a beige, maybe like a cream. And I love those. Those are I actually like those a lot. Like people don't like the 15s. I actually had multiple pairs of the 15s. I still have pairs of the 15s. So I will.
That's her favorite shoe.
Yeah, I'll cop them. I'm going to cop them even if they weren't Billie Eilish. I just like them.
Yeah, I mean, I like that shoe, but I don't have it. The 15s, they look, they're much more of like a basketball looking shoe. So I think a lot of people like don't really like that shoe as much. It's not as retro, but that's Billie Eilish's like favorite shoe.
Mm-hmm. I like them. They're one of my favorites, to be honest with you. I like one of my sleepers. I think also who we'll be remiss to not to mention, J Balvin, Bad Bunny. I think those two guys, they had some fire collabs. The Bad Bunny's a little bit more of like a skater shoe. Yes, Adidas. And then J Balvin's. I personally do not like the J Balvin's. I'll say that right now. I think what he does for the culture is huge, and I appreciate that. But I don't like the shoe. Like, it's just not a shoe I would ever wear. It looks like a shark attack shoe. But I don't personally like the J Balvin Jordan ones. I do like not like those. Yeah, but I do like the Bad Bunny ones.
For those of you, listening, and obviously the J Balvin, they're kind of like tie-dye.
Yeah, they're like tie-dye. But you know what?
I don't really.
But I do like it for the culture because
like the weather sonar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of those. Yeah. And then some people that like, I know we're kind of getting close to the end, but some people I do want to mention in like terms of honorable mentions. Usher, he has a Jordan. If you haven't, his Jordans are pretty fire. He has like an all gold collection. He's an honorable mention. One guy we should actually take a second and talk about is Eminem. Eminem's Jordan lines are so exclusive and so sought after. Like Eminem has a Carhartt 4, which is probably one of the most sought after shoes, period. The Carhartt 4s. He has the Encore 4s. And then he has the Shady 2s. But his collection of Jordans are highly sought after.
Yeah. I'm not
Uh,
as familiar with all those,
his
but
are fire. And then some other honorable mentions that we'll just speak on is Specta. If you guys do remember back in the day, G Unit, they had their own line. G Unit with the G Unit tank tops. They had the sneakers. Jay-Z had his own line. A lot of people don't remember that. Because I know like a lot of people like Jay-Z was super influential, but like where's Jay-Z's sneaker? Jay-Z actually had a line, the S. Carters. I actually still have a pair like dead stock. Macklemore had a
Put
Jordan.
those on your feet, Chris.
I think I might wear them because they actually look like, if you don't know, they look like a Gucci sneaker. So I actually might pull them out this summer. Who else has a shoe? ASAP Rocky has a shoe at Under Armour. They look like the old side.
Rihanna, Puma.
Rihanna, Puma. ASAP Rocky's shoe looks like, with Under Armour, looks like, if you guys remember the old school skater, fat tongue, Osiris shoes, that's what ASAP Rocky's shoe looks like. But like, you know what? You guys are going to start seeing a lot more entertainers and musicians coming out with shoes. So, but I think we have to thank Kanye for that, because Kanye, I know we said it before, but Kanye's definitely paved the way for a lot of these people. Is there anybody that you would like to mention that we may have forgotten? Post Malone has a Croc.
Post Malone's got some Crocs.
Post Malone has
I don't know if that really like fits in with our sneaker conversation.
Because he'll probably get a sneaker.
You know, he's got a shoe, I guess, but I'm not putting those on my feet because I would not be caught dead in Crocs.
Nah, I hate Crocs.
Unless I was like hiking over a river or something.
Right. You know what I was trying to think of, and I could be wrong. Does Lil Wayne have a shoe? I know, yes, he has it. Oh, you know what? He does. He has his shoe with, who's the company? It's a skate company.
Vans?
No, it's not Vans. Tyler Creator's shoes are fire too, though, with Converse.
Oh man.
Oh,
we could go.
What's the skate companies? It's
like
not
Etnies.
No. I gotta look this one up before we get off. Look up Lil Wayne.
Supra?
Supra. Yeah, Lil Wayne had a shoe at Supra.
Oh,
yeah, Lil Wayne.
These are funky. These
terrible, terrible shoe.
Look like some like alien.
And then Terror Squad, Fat Joe, and all them. They used to have a collab, but I'll stop it right there. We can, like I said, we can keep going on and on. Like, there's so many, but this is just part one of our collab series.
I know, like we could always do episode part 2 of any of these, but I think bringing it full circle, in my opinion, I feel like Kanye has really been the most instrumental in terms of really influencing sneaker culture. But that's got to be a wrap for today. Unfortunately, we got to bounce. So thank you for listening to Kicks of the Trade, now part of Nyport Media. So do us a favor, follow us on Instagram at kicksofthetrade.podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Kelsey Cristiano, no H in Cristiano, like Cristiano Ronaldo. And Chris, you got him at C_hollows. Hollows, right? Yeah.
Yep. Okay,
I was going to say Holloway. Anyways.
Hollows like the tip.
Give us Hollows like the tip. Oh my God. Well, give us a follow on Instagram and make sure you're subscribing to our channels. We appreciate it. Love you guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.